The Nigerian government has reopened the Lagos Third Mainland Bridge after 7 months of rehabilitation works. Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, announced the development via his Twitter handle on Saturday. The bridge was partially shut for repairs on July 24, 2020. And Mr. Fashola had said the bridge would be reopened on February 15th to enable the government to begin work on the Falamo Bridge. But that date was later shifted to the end of February. The 11.8 kilometer bridge is the longest of the 3 bridges connecting Lagos Island to the mainland. And joining us to discuss the reopening of the bridge and its economic implications is an economist and public affairs analyst, Dr. Pascal Ehoihime. Good morning, and good to have you on the morning show today.
Good morning.
How did that news come to you, the reopening? There have been so many shifts to the reopening. Are you excited? I mean, I guess everyone should be excited. It's been several months of hellish traffic in the metropolis.
First, good morning, Lagosians. Good morning, Nigerians. Indeed, the business community in Lagos, for me, it's a sign of relief. After 7 months of the closure of the busiest bridge in the continent of Africa, we all know that the Third Mainland Bridge, popularly called the IBB Bridge, that is Ibrahim Babangida Boulevard, is the longest bridge in Nigeria and the busiest, with about 11.8 kilometers. You know what happened these past 7 months? There are a lot of hardships and economic costs associated with the closure. So there is a sign of relief for me. I'm excited. And I'm sure many Nigerians are also excited, particularly those of us in Lagos, particularly those of us that live in the mainland, who come on daily basis to work in the Victoria Island, Ikoyi, Lagos Island. There is a sign of relief, apart from the direct economic benefits that individuals, businesses will enjoy as a result of the opening. So I think that many Nigerians, particularly those of us living in Lagos, will be excited. We are happy to hear the news yesterday by the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola. You know, we are happy.
Excellent. We're all very happy. Now, yes. The bridge was closed for over 6 months, right? On 2 different occasions, the government said that they would open before they finally did yesterday. In your opinion, how effective was this exercise? And did you think that it took too long?
7 months. 7 months is a long one. But for me, it was a very wise decision on the part of the federal government to do a rehabilitation and to maintain the bridge, because like we said, it's the busiest bridge that connects mainland with the 2 islands, talking about Lagos Island and Victoria, which is the financial economic hub of Nigeria. And you can then begin to imagine well over 188,000 vehicles that apply that bridge on daily basis before this closure. So for me, it's like as if we didn't have the bridge during that short closure. But the good news is that during that period, because there were first and foremost, there was the kind of partial closure, which allowed at least some human and vehicular movement to take place. But despite that, and despite the COVID-19 pandemic and the restriction in movement, many of us found it very difficult to carry out our daily businesses. So for me, it's a sign of relief, and that in itself, the maintenance is good for this country, because as a strategic asset, and also located in Lagos, Lagos being the if you like, the economic and the financial hub in this part of the world, contributes or account for about 10% of the GDP in terms of national GDP. So to have stopped the bridge for that 7 months is to have stopped, 90% of the business activities, came to a halt. So it's a welcome development, and we're all happy to have the bridge open for businesses.
Indeed. A lot of people will say the gridlock for those 7 months was a price to pay for safety because it's in everybody's interest for that bridge to be in good condition. But could we have avoided the hellish gridlock we had to endure for those 7 months? And beyond the ease of traffic flow, what does this reopening mean for employees, businesses, firms, the Lagos State government, and Nigeria as a whole?
This is a very good question. But you know that during that closure, as you rightly observed, there was a heavy traffic jam in many of the alternative routes, talking about the Eko Bridge and the Kata Bridge that connect the Victoria Island and the Lagos Island to the mainland through Surulere, Ikorodu, Aziz, up to Ikeja, the industrial layer, and the rest of them. So for workers, particularly the low-income earners that we know majority live in mainland, they commute daily from mainland to Victoria Island and the Lagos and even Ikoyi area for the business activities. It was a hell of pain going through the gridlock, because they have to experience pain, psychological breakdown. Apart from the hike in the fare, many of these taxis, have had to increase their fare, and of course that also rub on the cost of products and services. To them, many of the low-income workers, they are very happy as this bridge is now reopened. A lot of savings will take place. Apart from the fact that there were a lot of manpower loss in terms of manpower, effective time for job and productivity and utilization of manpower, there was a reduction as a result of the time wasting in terms of the traffic jam. But I can also assure you that in spite of the fact that that challenge was there, many companies had to adopt a digital or virtual office where many had to work from home. But in spite of the advantage offered by the digital or virtual office work, but I could say that many people went through pain, both psychological and economic pain. Many of the low-income earners actually suffered untold hardship. But now that the bridges are opened, there are going to be a lot of personal savings. The time traveling from their places of residence to the offices will now be reduced. You will recall that many of them could spend up to about 2 or 3 hours, commuting from their homes to the offices. But today, with the opening of the bridge, less than an hour, 30 to 35 minutes, 30 to 1 hour, I'm sure many people will be in the office to do their normal job. So for me, it's a very welcome development, and it's very advantageous to not just the individual in terms of employee productivity or the business itself, but also to the economy of Lagos. A lot of VAT tax, revenue loss as a result of this kind of the closure. Now the Lagos State government will now be very happy. At least they have a lot of internal generated revenue coming into Lagos State, and so the individuals will spend less traveling in terms of transport fare. So many of us are very happy. We are happy. Some of us have offices in the mainland, and we live in Highland, Ikoyi, and Lekki. Monday to Friday was a thing of the past. Many of us, if you did a lot, we could go there like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 times a week. But now that the bridge has been opened, we can afford to be there Monday to Friday working. And so the productivity will certainly go up.
Right.
Thanks to the government.
If we were to shift gears here, last week the federal government said it will grant licenses for individuals to build, operate and maintain highways. The arrangement under the new Highway Development and Management Initiative approved 12 federal highways for concession. Now, what is your general take on that, and should there be return of tolling?
Come again. You're talking about the return on the investment?
Correct.
Okay. You're talking about rehabilitation and the maintenance of the bridge. If you recall that, I think one of the publications I read, well over 277 billion naira was earmarked for maintaining 37 bridges across the nation. And for the planned maintenance program for the Lagos Third Mainland Bridge, for me, it's a very wise investment, because you know how much it took the country to develop the bridge since 1990s, which was completed by the IBB government. A lot of investment went into it, but it's a strategic investment. The payoff is tremendous over time, particularly when you look at the fact that in terms of ease of doing business, people, they have to travel everywhere from all parts of the country, coming to Lagos to trade, to perform one business or the other, as well as even tourists coming to Nigeria through the airports. So there's a lot of inflow of foreign investment just by the opening of the Third Mainland Bridge. So with that, in no time, the return on investment will be realized. I see this as very, very nice on the part of government, because you can imagine if we had invested so much on the bridge, and after a couple of years, 20, 30 years now, the bridge broke down. It's like most of the gains or benefit that accrued to the country over the years would have been lost. So for me, the rehabilitation and the maintenance was a very wise strategic decision taken by the federal government. So the investment is worth it.
We might be going on a break any moment from now, but let me ask this question, and then we'll come back and we'll take your response. Actually, let me just take this very quickly. For a densely populated city such as Lagos, our means of transportation is quite limited, isn't it? What are the lessons from the closure of the Third Mainland Bridge? Very briefly.
Well, you know, the greatest thing that will happen to this country, let me start like this, is investment in infrastructures, physical infrastructure, talking about rail infrastructure, water, transportation, of course, bridges and road infrastructure. Now, if you look at the population of Lagos that has kept on increasing, the more infrastructure, the better. And you could see a recourse to the railway line, railway construction, as well as those projects that were virtually stopped. They have resumed to ensure that the infrastructures, test of railway, water, transportation, and indeed the opening of the Third Mainland Bridge. Now, given the population of Lagos and the growth, we need more of it. You are also aware that the government is planning to open up or to construct a 4 Mainland Bridge, which will become the longest bridge in Africa. Now, these are necessary to spur economic activities in Lagos. Don't forget that Lagos remains, apart from the huge population, is the economic and financial hub in Africa. A lot of activities are going on. And without these infrastructures, you know, there will be a lot of time wasting. Okay. And, you know, time is money.
Indeed.
You know.
Thank you so much for joining us on this segment.